Our big international story today, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has been returned to office with a landslide victory. He'll now lead the country for another 6 years. Putin's re-election comes as a recent poisoning incident has strained relations with Britain. Our London correspondent Olly Barratt has been following the story. To the poison allegation in just a moment, Olly, but before that, I presume the response in British government circles today about this victory, it was predicted, but it puts further strain on that relationship between London and Moscow.
Certainly, and that poisoning incident has been an issue which has been important in the Russian election campaign in the days leading up to the vote. Certainly, domestic observers in Russia feel that incidents like that can actually strengthen Vladimir Putin's grip on power in the country, because many voters in Russia believe that he is the right man to lead the country through issues like the current fallout with the United Kingdom. Many Russian voters feel that Vladimir Putin has made Russia a stronger, more powerful, more forceful country when it comes to its position on the international stage. So it certainly played a role in the lead up to the vote. But you're right, UK government officials here in Britain will have been in no doubt in the run-up to the Russian election that the man they would still be dealing with as president come this week would be Vladimir Putin.
And how is this issue currently being dealt with? It's almost a David and Goliath situation. We've seen the expulsion of diplomats, for instance. But what further action can Theresa May actually take?
Well, in terms of where we stand at the moment, as of today, we have a team of international inspectors from the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the OPCW, in the UK. And what that team of inspectors is going to do is independently look at the samples that have been taken from Salisbury after the incident that took place there, and try and independently verify what the UK says is the situation, which is that this is a nerve agent that was used, a Russian nerve agent called Novichok. So that investigation is now underway. We think we probably won't get results from the OPCW for 10 days or 2 weeks or so, because there are a lot of steps that they have to go through when it comes to testing this material. As you say, Britain has expelled 23 Russian diplomats. We think that they will likely leave the country on Tuesday. Russia has expelled 23 British diplomats in response. In terms of how Britain can go further, one of the key areas here is the idea about wealthy Russian oligarchs and businessmen and politicians and diplomats who have funds here in the British capital. The UK government is saying that if it can identify funds that have been that are ill-gotten, that are related to criminality or corruption, then it will start doing things like freezing assets here in the United Kingdom, making it more difficult for wealthy Russian people to run their money through the British capital. That, it is thought, will have a significant impact on some of those key figures who are close to Vladimir Putin in Russia, and may make some of them suggest to him that perhaps the country should change course with its regards to its actions. Of course, I'll say again, reiterate that Russia denies any involvement in what took place in Salisbury anyway.
But it's a difficult line for Theresa May to toe, because she's also got to balance that strategy, a punitive strategy, against the imperative of a post-Brexit trade environment where Russia wields a huge amount of heft and influence.
That's certainly right. Russia has a major economy, and one of the key areas of power that Russia also has is with regards to power, gas supplies, for example, that flow into Europe from Russia. Neither Britain nor any of its European Union allies want to put into doubt Russian gas supplies, so that is a very key weapon that Vladimir Putin has should all of this escalate further. The British economy is still around twice the size of the Russian economy, so Britain has some strength here as well, and certainly those Russian gas producers won't want to see supplies affected if they can possibly help it, because they of course lose revenue in return. I think for now we see a situation with regards to the expulsion of diplomats where Russia responded in kind but didn't go further, and that I think leads to the possibility that perhaps things won't escalate or deteriorate a huge amount further from here. But Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, certainly needs to be seen to being tough in response to Russia, and today she's received a strong message of solidarity from the European Union, which will have cheered her too.
Olly Barratt, live in London for Newsday. Thank you very much indeed. Sport and weather to follow.